Hey guys, how's it going? Zombie here with ZNR Gaming, and Ubisoft had their live stream for Ghost Recon Breakpoint a couple days ago, and it was awesome. All the best parts of Wildlands with some new stuff mixed in. In this video, I'm going to go over a lot of the information and features that were shown in the world premiere live stream. If you guys would like to watch the full premiere yourselves, then I will have a link in the description below. Also, I will have a link for the beta sign up page and recommend that everyone signs up ASAP. As with Wildlands, the closed beta invites are rolled out over a few days, depending on when people signed up, and I found myself playing a few days before my main squad mates due to me signing up before they did. So with all that information out of the way, guys, let's get into the video. First things first, one of the biggest things to impact Breakpoint will be the new wounded movement feature. This feature was explained as having 3 tier levels, with each having a more dramatic effect on your ghost. These wound tiers were categorized as injuries and health damage. The reason for these injury tiers were described as a type of warning system to ghosts of how close they were to death and having to respawn, because in Breakpoint AI teammates will be disabled. These tiers are as follows. Tier 1 will show your character limping occasionally with some stamina reduction. This is what they call an injury tier. Tier 2 shows your ghost limping heavily and starting to bleed. When your ghost gets to this tier, it will be more difficult for them to aim, decreasing your accuracy. Tier 3 has the biggest effect of all. Your ghost will no longer be able to run. You'll begin to stumble and limp heavily, and your ability to use any two-handed weapon will be gone, only leaving you the option to use a pistol. But remember, even with the pistol, your accuracy will be greatly decreased at this point, as if you are unable to escape and heal yourself, you will be making your proverbial last stand. To recover from these situations, you will need both bandage and syringe healing items. Bandages will help you with injuries, whereas syringes are required to assist you with health damages. As mentioned before, Ghost Recon Breakpoint sees us do away with the AI teammates that were introduced in Wildlands. In this game, you are not inserted behind enemy lines, you are stranded. Your only assistance will be from other people or other ghosts that have joined your squad, or any drones that you may have acquired along the way. With these teammates, you will be granted the ability to get back into the fight after being downed. If your teammates are able to help you. In Wildlands, many of us found ourselves in areas waiting to be revived, when our teammates would have been shot if they had tried to take the time to sit still and help us. In Breakpoint, a new carry system has been introduced. With this, you will be able to carry allies out of the line of fire and into cover, giving more time to get them up and more time for them to heal. On the other side of this new feature, if you are trying to stay stealth and have to eliminate any enemies, you will now be able to move the enemy body out of sight, as not to be discovered later while you're trying to be busy sneaking around an enemy objective. Now, it's also important to know that while you are carrying, you will be able to use a pistol, so you don't have to worry about being defenseless while you're doing this. In Breakpoint, we will see drones return. Drones have been popular in Ghost Recon ever since they were introduced in Ghost Recon Future Soldier. These drones were shown as being used for scouting, which is normally their main purpose, but it is probably a safe bet that we will see other features for these drones returning from Wildlands, like the EMP, explosives, and noise for distraction purposes. We were also informed that even though AI teammates were removed, Sync Shot would still be returning, but this time due to the use of one-time use drones that would fire on command. In the footage, we were shown the player use 2 of these drones, along with teammates showing that they will not be disabled when you are in cooperative play. This also raises the question for me whether or not the number of drones for Sync Shot will be limited per player in cooperative, or if maybe the host will be the only one who can use them. I seriously doubt that Ubisoft would allow for a 16 kill Sync Shot, no matter how awesome that would be to be able to pull that off. but keep your eyes open because the enemy will have drones as well in Breakpoint, and you can also actually, I believe, set these enemy drones as sync shot targets as well. During the live stream, character customization was mentioned, of course, with no surprise with how well the character Smith's customization option was received with Wildlands. It will be returning in Breakpoint, and developers have said that it will be better than Wildlands as it will now have greater variety. The customization will of course cover both male and female characters. Something I would like to see is the ability to import your character design from Wildlands to Breakpoint. I was very happy with how my character turned out visually, and even though I enjoyed the character features part of the customization process, I would also like the option to skip directly to his outfit or just straight into the game when it launches. A similar option for this was seen in Destiny 2, where Guardians were given the option to use previous characters from Destiny 1 or create a new one entirely. I'm also happy to say that we will be seeing the gunsmith return to Breakpoint. Although we have not seen it in action yet, it is safe to presume that it will be very similar to the one that's in Wildlands. The devs at Ubisoft also said that the Breakpoint gunsmith will now be more critical as the attachments will have a greater impact on weapon statistics than in Wildlands. We were also told that there would be a great variety of weapons returning as well as new ones. A couple last things that were mentioned about Gunsmith was that there will be a melee weapon slot, which I will talk about in a minute, and that these melee weapons, like all other weapons, can have custom paints added to them. Personally, I would probably fit all my weapons with the same camo shown in the gameplay walkthrough that was matching the sharpshooter's ghillie suit. It was also said that we could craft weapons and items, although there was no detail given on this comment yet. This has raised the question if we would find weapons and attachments like in Wildlands, or will we find materials and blueprints and have to craft the items that we want ourselves. Unlike Wildlands, Breakpoint will introduce a class system to the campaign. This will create new ways to play. Instead of crafting a jack-of-all-trades character, we will now level individual classes. There will be a total of 4 playable classes at launch, with more to come in future content. The 2 classes that were mentioned so far were the Panther class, which is based primarily on stealth, and the Sharpshooter class, which is designed mostly for sniping. The Panther special ability is a smoke grenade that allows for flanking and retreating from battle. It can also be used to recover wounded teammates. The Panther class is also harder to detect and moves faster. The Panther does not have access to heavy weapon types, but does receive the perk of not receiving a damage reduction when they use suppressed weapons. The Sharpshooter has the ability to load 3 special bullets that can deal extra damage, hold their breath longer, give them more stability when they're aiming, and reload long-range weapons faster. I expect for information on the remaining 2 classes to be revealed at E3 next month. Vehicles, of course, will be returning in Ghost Recon with confirmed visually on buggies, choppers, and other weaponized or armored vehicles. Devs also said that there will be a greater variety of military vehicles in Breakpoint. The Bivouac is a new campsite location that can be set up at what seems to be almost any location. The Bivouac allows players to rest and refit. This can be done with your squad or in solo. You can clean your weapons, you can change your classes, craft items, meds, bandages, possibly maybe the new breach kit that I'll mention in a minute. Upgrade your gear and select time of day and the weather for better mission preparation. So you can actually pick what time of the day and what you want the weather condition to be before you go into an enemy base on a mission. In Breakpoint, you will encounter 2 enemy factions, much like in Wildlands. One is the PMC, or private military contractors, and the other are the Wolves. The Wolves are ex-Ghost gone rogue. For For those of you who played the Operation Oracle mission in Wildlands, you will notice the leader of the Wolves as Colonel Cole D. Walker. There will be 3 main types of enemy soldiers in Breakpoint. Rocket Gunner being the first one. He's a long distance enemy. His backpack is his weak point, and it's said that you need to use strong cover as he will be firing rockets at you. So it said weak covers will not be a good location to hide. You also have the Breacher, which is an aggressive enemy. Forces players to change strategy. Uses shotguns and flash grenades. Take down quickly or run. These were some of the notes I took. They said that he will come at you constantly, try to close the gap, and try to cause you to have to move or react to him. The heavy, they told us to aim for the head. Body is covered in armor. He uses a minigun. They said in cooperative it's best to possibly aggro and let and let the rest of the team go for the head to try to take him down. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. These enemies become even more realistic by trying to stalk you from your last known position, whether you were engaged with an enemy or if they were suspicious of your location. The enemy will no longer automatically know where you are, so sniping cover can, if done successfully, provide a constant source of effective assistance if sniper is never actually seen by the enemy. There will also be drone enemies, from those in the sky to those on the road. Radio enemies that can call in reinforcements if not dealt with quickly, and constant enemy patrols around the map to make you feel the pressure of being hunted. One really cool thing that we were introduced in the walkthrough was prone camo, or what many are calling predator camo. This skill is available at the start of the game and does not require unlock, from what I understand. With this ability, the player can cover themselves with the surrounding terrain, whether they are in the sand, mud, snow, leaves, etc. We were informed that this could be done nearly anywhere, but I wouldn't recommend trying to do it in lava, of course, when you're at the volcano area. That would be interesting though. The new stamina feature now decreases during running and while in combat. When sliding down hills, a hill, having stamina when you reach the bottom can provide a quick recovery, whereas running out will cause you to stumble and fall down and take longer to get up, probably also causing tier 1 injury to your ghost, but not sure about that. You can also watch your gun be raised above water up to your shoulder height when you're walking through water, and you will also lean the gun away from your body around corners when you're trying to look through doorways or around objects. There are also new breaching kits, which were numbered items that were used, which will allow for you to cut through fences and possibly other objects, giving a more custom infiltration method to bases. And there will also be multiple different types of enemy takedowns depending on the situation that you approach the enemy and with what melee type of weapon. Your campaign character will now also cross between single player and multiplayer, so you will now have one character across all aspects of Breakpoint without having to customize new ones. And it sounds like this character will be used in future DLCs as well, instead of crafting a new one. There will also be 4-player raids and scheduled regular content updates every 4 months. So that is it for this video, guys. I know that it was a little bit longer than most of mine, but I wanted to try to fit as much possible into it. There's still more information on the live stream, so again, feel free to check that out for yourselves, and tune into Ubisoft's E3 conference next month and Gamescom later this year for more information on the game. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.